Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today I'm going to talk about the tables for compounders. So I'm going to talk about two tables that are for people that are interested in compounding their money, whether it is through dividend investing or another kind of investing, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a certain yield every year, more or less, then these tables are for you. And these tables, they changed my life because when I was 9, I read Winning with Stocks from Roland van der Elst. So it's in Dutch. So for the people of the Netherlands and the Flemish part of Belgium, they can certainly read everything that is depicted here in this picture. So it says the guy that taught his people how to invest. And for me, that's certainly the case because after reading this book, and I read it a couple of times, I started investing like Roland van der Elst taught it to me through his book. And this is a recent reprint. I'm reading this at the moment because I got it. The last vacation we went to Belgium, and it was laying there in the shop, and I said, "Man, now I really have to get it," because when I was 9, then I rented it out from the library, and every 2-3 years after that time, I rented it out again, and I read it over and over because I really liked the book. And what I especially liked in the book were the tables that he had about how the value of one Belgian franc, and not the value I should say, but how the one Belgian franc increased and became 2 francs, 3 francs, 4 francs when it was invested to a certain yield and for a number of times, a number of years. And after seeing those numbers increase, I was truly hooked, and I started reading the financial paper, the I should say the one page that was always printed in het laatste nieuws on Tuesday till Saturday. So that was the newspaper where my mother and father always received every day, and yeah, I was hooked. I wrote all the numbers down of the Bell 20. So every day I wrote them down in a book to see how the numbers evolved because it was only when I was 10 years old that we got our first computer at home, and then I started putting the numbers in a database. It wasn't Excel back then, but a few years later I started with Excel, and I got really good in entering the numbers by doing that every day. But I was hooked, and I was an investor from that moment. It took a while before I bought my first stocks, but I bought my first stocks with the first money that I earned from my vacation job. And now I'm really happy that I own this copy, a copy of this book. So okay, it's a reprint. It's not the original one. If I find an original one on a second-hand market one day in Belgium, I will certainly buy it because, it's pure nostalgia, that original print of the book of Roland van der Elst. And if you are living in Belgium or in the Netherlands and you are capable of reading Dutch, this is truly a magnificent book, and you should buy it and read it for sure. So back to the tables, because this video is about the tables, of course. And the first table is when you do a one-off saving. And in the table, we always start from 1 franc, so Swiss franc or a dollar or a euro or whatever. and then you add 1% after 1 year. After 2 years, the 1.01 becomes 1.0201, and so on and so on and so on. So after 25 years, 1%, it's nothing to write home about, but for me, the 7%, this one did the trick, 5.427433, because when I was 9 years old, when we visited my great-grandfather, that was my only great-grandparent that was still alive, he gave us sometimes 5 Belgian francs. And he said that that was a lot of money. And in his eyes, because yeah, he was already old, he was, when I was 9, he was 96 years old. So for him, 5 francs was truly a lot of money. And because he said it to me, I believed it as well. And I saw that 1 franc became 5 francs after 25 years, and I thought, man, this is amazing. So yeah, that got me hooked, and now I'm here talking to you on a YouTube channel, so I hope you get hooked as well. And how you can make table 1 yourself. So in Excel, you put in the line 1, the 1% up till 10 or even 20% if you like. If you think you can achieve 20% yield every year, go ahead and draw it further to 20%. Here you start on year 0, and after 1 year you get your yield, and this you can draw till 100 years, 120 years, it doesn't matter. What matters is in B3 you put in the formula B2 plus B2 times B $1, and then you can take here and draw it further so that it covers the whole area that you want to calculate the numbers for, and your table is finished. And how you can use then the table 1? Well, for example, if you saved 5,000 Swiss francs 25 years ago at a fixed rate of 6%, then you will see in your table that for 1 CHF Swiss francs, the number that it gives you the table is 4.291871. So if you want to know how much money you will have from your 5,000 Swiss francs, because this number is from 1 Swiss franc, you have to multiply this number, 4.29 blah blah blah, times 5,000, and this gives you then a total after 25 years of 21,459.35 Swiss francs. There is actually still a 5 here, but I rounded it down. And after 30 years, you will have the number 5.743491. And if you multiply that with 5,000, your 5,000 francs will have become 28,717.45 Swiss francs after 30 years. Just keep in mind, this is with no costs at all and no taxes. It's almost impossible that you will have no costs and no taxes. So this is just the purest form of saving without any government or company interfering with your yield. And then we go to table 2, where we save the same amount every year. So once again, you start with the same layout. Here are the years that you are investing already, and here is the percentage that you get on your money. So you start with 1 franc, and for example, I will take 9% right now. So after 1 year, you will get 9% on the 1 franc, and you invest an extra 1 franc. So then you have 1 plus 0.09 plus an extra franc. So in total you have 2.09. And this goes on and on and on and on and on. And after 25 years, you have 93.32 and a bit francs. And in this period, you will have saved for the 25th year as well already 1 franc. So this is 26 francs that became 93.32398. Or you can say it's 25 francs that became 92.32398 francs after 25 years waiting. Because here the 1 franc that you are going to save in the 25th year is already there, of course. So the formula in B3, so the same layout as for table 1, but then the formula in B3 becomes B2 plus B2 times B $1 plus B $2, and then expand. So that's the only difference, the plus B $2, because you save every year the same amount. And remember, the result for the year that you are locking up includes the extra deposit of the amount you are saving each year. So that's what I said when I was going over the table. And once again, this is with no costs and no taxes included. So it's the purest form that you can have, and that's almost impossible, but yeah, this is just the theory. And how you can use the table 2 then? Well, if you save, for example, 3,000 Swiss francs every year during 25 years at a fixed rate of 8%, you will see the number 79.95442 in the table. So for 3,000, this becomes then 3,000 times that number, and that's 239,863.26. But of course, the 3,000 that you are depositing in the 25th year is already included, so you have to withdraw that. So actually it's then 3,000 times 78.95442. So you just diminish it with 1, and then you have 236,863.26 Swiss francs after 25 years with saving 3,000 Swiss francs every year. Or the other way that you can use the table 2, then when you want to know how much yearly savings you need to get 1 million after 32 years, for example. So just imagine that you are 28 right now and you want to retire at 60. So you think you have 32 years to go until you want to retire and relax at the beach or something like that. And you know that you can invest your money at a fixed rate of 8%, which is kind of hard right now. You can put it at 5%, 4.5% if you go to American bonds right now, but the average growth of the stock market is 8%, 8.5%. And then you see the number 145.9506. So you need to withdraw 1 for not having to save the amount in the final year. So it's 144.9506 where you have to calculate with. So then you divide 1 million by that number, and then you get 6,898.90 Swiss francs that you have to save every year in order to have, after 32 years, a total value of 1 million Swiss franc on your bank account. And you think maybe this is impossible, but in fact now in Switzerland for the 3A pillar the limit is 7,056 Swiss francs that you can deposit into your savings account, your 3A pillar savings account. So self-employed people can can even save more into the 3A pillar savings account or investment account. It's to see what you have. But just remember, here I say the fixed rate is 8% and that's the average growth of the stock market, and the average growth is correct, but it's not 8% every year, and the table is made for having 8% every year. So just remember that the stock market fluctuates and that yield isn't fixed. And then, of course, the 3A pillar system isn't that high yielding at all. I know that it's not that high yielding because the companies that offer a 3A pillar, when the yields are higher, they also take away the costs that they want to earn, and that eats in your yield for sure. And why you are doing the 3A pillar account, it's actually more about the tax reduction that you get on the moment itself, because the amount that you put in the 3A pillar account, you can deduct that from your annual income, and so you get taxed on a lower amount instead of your complete income. So that's just the difference. And I think the tax reduction is certainly worth it to invest into a 3A pillar system. But if you want to do it and you have the time, always take an investment type of system, even when it's with an insurance attached to it, although insurance isn't that great. Certainly when you are Swiss inhabitant and you have the Swiss nationality, you shouldn't invest into a 3A pillar system that is also an insurance system. You should invest then in a 3A pillar investment system that isn't an insurance system, just so you know, because insurance systems are always a bit a scam. But certainly not on a savings account. A pure savings account, that's also pure robbery, because they offer you so low interest yield that it's totally not interesting to do that, even though the tax reduction is interesting. Yeah, it's a 3A pillar system. I need to make a video about it, but it's for in the future. And with that being said, I thank you for watching this one. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done that. You can also hit the like button. It helps out the channel enormously, because then the videos are spread out to more people that like this kind of content. And thank you for watching, and see you on the next one on my YouTube channel. Bye.